Hello ladies and gents, welcome to our fourth tutorial, and in this tutorial we'll be doing the optimize select. I promised myself that I'll try to work on my accent, but I'm failing, so let's just go with it. So in this select, let me prepare. Okay, as of now we have this, so we want to use the selector with the optimizer. So let's create a form. That's all right. So I've created a form that's submitting to Work Select Optimizer, and we are going to get everything. You get 2 columns and get information on specific data, then get with limit. I'll walk you through how these things are going to be working. So now what's the difference between the DB helper and the select and the optimizer? The difference is, imagine when you were taking information from this one, say we are getting all values, it was returning, it's even taking long time to compile. Now imagine if this table had 60 columns with long text, that was going to take like eternity to process. So that's when you're using the DB helper. Now with the optimizer helper, you just select the name of columns that you want to be rendered, like I will show you. So the optimizer available, then we want to get everything from the database. I'll show you how the optimizer script works. Okay, first, so we need to import the optimizer. So in Hawk is labeled optimizer PHP, so we need to import it from Hawk. And as always, we need to create our object. I'll still call it DBH. So now we want to say to run a query. Let's see the kind of functions that are stored in optimizer. Okay, so if you should know, optimizer is a direct child of DB helper, as you can see. That's why all methods available in DBH are available there. So all the methods with exact stuff are the ones that are being shown in optimizer, like this one. So at the moment we want to use select exact data and select it, and it's going to take 3 array parameters, and let's read the documentation on what that is going to need. Okay, this selects exact fields from a table. Then the first parameter is an associative array that's going to take about that of size 4, if you don't mind me. So we need to initialize the table, the order by, and the limit. That's for the first parameter. Then the second parameter will be the array of columns, the fields that you want to extract from the query, and it's an array as always. Then the last parameter, the key value pairs, fields where for the where clause, and we'll be using an associative array again, and returns an array of results. So let's see, it means we should be initializing these 3 arrays to get our results later. Okay, so since I'm sending this information from a select, I would write a switch statement so that I'll exchange between, so that I'll have to change the codes to be filling in. So in this case 1, we are getting all results. So first parameter, we have to have the table options, and at the first index we put the table, and we are going to screen from censorship Second, we are going to need order. We have to apply descending. Third, we are going to use order by. You can use any order. I prefer using the IDs. Okay, the limit we are allowed not to use it. The second parameter are columns, so we are going to require columns from there. So something you should know, if you put a blank array, it will return all the results in the table, of which that's exactly what option 1 will be doing. Then for the key value pairs, we don't want to target anything specific, so we'll leave the array blank and we break. Now let's try and run the query. Okay, meaning we should feed the parameters into the method. So we are going to apply table options. Then let's say our censorship table was going to be having 100 lines, we were supposed 100 columns. This time around we will see 100 columns for sure. Now let's get everything and run and see what we can get. Every detail in the table, like that get all details will do. Now as you can see, it's returning all the columns in the database, in the table censorship. Now we need to save a little bit. So as you can see, our table has 4 columns. Now we want to get at least just 2 columns. You know what you want, just a demo. So in my demo I'm going to choose 2 columns, so I should write a script for getting 2 columns now. So for case 2, I am going to initialize the table option. Okay, here still the same. So now the columns is where I'm going to use 2 columns. I'm going to apply for the member ID, and the other thing I'm going to apply for the member name. So if we run this query, we are supposed to see only 2 results. And for the key value pairs, I don't have anything specific to be looking for right now, so we'll use a blank array. Try and run to see the result of what we would get for getting 2 columns. There it is. You see we have the member ID and the member name. This is so effective if you were to say we have a table, some like 20 columns, and some of them have serious text, and we just want little data from that table. So I'll walk you through to the next. Let's say I want to target specific data. Let's say I want to save only people with the ID 226, if there was going to be a lot of them. So let's try and run case 3. Right now my table options are still the same. This thing is so flexible, you can write whatever you feel like. And for the columns, okay, this time around let's just say we're taking everything from the user. So for the key value pairs, like in the documentation, it was telling you to initialize this as the information that you are going to be comparing. So the fields that you are going to use for the where clause, so it is going to be an associative array where the key is the column and what you are mapping it to the value. So I'm going to look for a column called member ID and there's a value 226. If I'm so right, I should get just 1 result with all columns fed. Now let's try and run the script and see what we will get. You see, this is how it's going to be working. So the key value pairs are just a set of everything you want to look for. Okay, let me show you something else. Let's see if it's on my screen. Okay, so you can write the key value pairs with any number of parameters in there. Like for the ID, let's say you are looking for one guy who is 1. Perhaps there's a lot of things that should be identical. in most of the users. Now see, the list can be long and long and long. You are not forbidden to filter for the results that you want. So I believe if we run this, we still get the same result because we are matching the ID 1 and the member ID 226. Alright, good for this part. Now let's go for the last part, one with limit. As you can see, all along we've been using the table options without limit. Now so for case 4, we are going to apply a limit. So I will copy information at the first case and only add a limit. So let's say we want to limit our search to give us just 3 results. We should notice the difference for running the first case and the last case. Okay, let's try it. It's giving us 3 results because we have limited it to 3. Now let's see what we can get from running the first case. We get 50. We get 50 results. So this is how this thing is going to be working. So in the same manner, I'm going to walk you through the select like data. You see, I've realized in PHP, sometimes let's say you are going to be searching for someone's name. So to check to see what the documentation is saying about selecting like. Yes, it's going to take again three parameters of arrays, as you can see. So let's see what the documentation says. Okay, nothing was talked about. So I'm going to place it as case 5. So the documentation says select like data takes 3 parameters, the table options. So I'm still going to use the table options here. As for the columns, don't mind, I'm just taking out the columns. So we are going to need the key value pairs now. Let's remove so for the key value pairs, okay, I'm going to look for the guys whose member contact is going to contain 777. Okay, this is basically one of the things possible. Like I said, the key value pairs can be an infinite list. Now let's try and run. So we are going to require the table options and the columns and the key value pair. So let's run our script and see if we really are going to get a list of people who has the contact with the 3 sevens in it. Get like data for our last query using the like. Usually used for searching data. You know what like is about. So ladies and gents, this is our query. As you can see, this member contact is 777 in it, so is this one, and the next 8, the list, all of them, those with the 7s in them. And mind you could use the limit if you are to search. Perhaps there's a million of them like this. You can use pagination. So basically this is how the Hawk library will be working on selecting. So I'll catch you guys in the next tutorial where we'll be talking about updating stuff.